Yeah. Hi guys. Good evening. Today we are going to discuss about the topic of syllogisms. Okay. As I said, okay. Today we are going to discuss two important topics. One is syllogisms, and next one is directions. Okay. So when it comes to the point of syllogisms, we will be having four frequently asked statements based on based on the questions from the previous TCS NQT. Okay. There are four important things. One is, okay. Let me take an example. Let's say all cars are bikes. Okay, let's consider an example. They will give you four statements. One is the condition as the statement with all, some not, and no. These are the four important statements we have in syllogisms. Okay, so all cars are bikes. So first, while drawing Venn diagram, so as I said, if you want to solve a syllogisms questions, if you want to solve a syllogisms questions with 100%, so first make sure that so 50% of the question will be solved when you know how to draw Venn diagram. So when you know how to draw this Venn diagram, so 50% of the question will be done. Okay, now after that, so remaining 50% is based on how you are going to analyze the question, analyze the diagram. So as I said, majority of the students will be thinking that, so I know how to draw a Venn diagram, so that I'll be perfect in the topic of syllogisms. No. So when you wanted to solve all the questions from syllogisms concept, so 50% of the topic, 50% of the question is based on how to draw a Venn diagram. After drawing Venn diagram, you should know how to analyze that Venn diagram. Okay, so let's say I will just tell you first by taking one particular condition. Let's assume all cars are bikes. Okay, let's say all cars are bikes means all cars should be inside bikes. This is the basic Venn diagram that we can draw, right? Next, some cars are bikes. Okay, for this particular Venn diagram, very simple. Some cars are bikes means I can draw some cars are bikes. So here, as I said, when some cars are bikes means what about the remaining some cars are not bikes, right? So we'll take one small example. Let's assume in a class of 50 students, if I say some students are there in the class, what's the meaning of that? So instead I can also say some students are not there in the class, because when some students are there in the class, some are not there in the class. When some cars are bikes, so some cars are not bikes. So for this particular statement, okay, so this area which I'm highlighting this, okay, this indicates some cars are bikes. Okay, now next one, some cars are not bikes. Some cars are not bikes. The same diagram, okay, for some cars are not bikes, but here this time you have to highlight the remaining part of cars. So this part indicates some cars are not bikes. Okay, now the last statement we have, no cars are bikes. No cars are bikes. No cars are bikes means, okay, so car circle and bike circle should be separated. So it should not interact. So it should not intersect actually. Okay, so here if you observe, all cars are bikes means all cars should be inside the bikes. Next, some cars are bikes means the part of which is intersection, means very simple. When this condition should be satisfied, so these two circles should be connected. So at least one circle should touch another circle. So we can say that some cars are bikes. So some cars are not bikes means the part which is not connected with bikes should be considered as some cars are not bikes. So this part of cars is not at all related to bikes, right? Because this part is not getting touched by bikes. Now the last one, no cars are bikes. No cars are bikes means obviously, so car and bike circle should not intersect. These are the minimum basic diagrams that we should understand before solving syllogisms questions. Now I will tell you direct which approach that we are using is, as I said, Venn diagrams approach, and how we are going to analyze which is the easiest way to solve. And one more thing guys, like if you skip any of the questions, it is very difficult for you to understand regarding this analysis part. So don't skip the question and just we'll go with particular flow. So I'll just go, explain you the first basic questions, okay, first two questions, and then we'll start solving the questions which were asked in TCS NQT exam. Okay, let's consider the first example. Okay, so one thing we should have more clear about, like when you have a statements and conclusions. Okay, so always Venn diagram should be drawn based on statements. Okay, by using these two statements we have to draw Venn diagram. After drawing Venn diagram, based on Venn diagram we have to analyze. After analyzing, so out of these two conclusions, okay, which conclusion is correct from the given statements. So either if first conclusion alone is correct, I should select option A, only one follows, means only first conclusion is correct. If second conclusion is correct, I should select only conclusion 2 follows. If both conclusions are correct, I should select option C, both follows. If both are wrong according to the given statements, so we should select option D, neither one nor two follows. I hope you have clear idea like how to select an options. And there is no mandatory rule that so only two statements questions should be given in the exam. They might give three statements questions, four statements questions, and they might give conclusions also. Okay, three conclusions or more than that. So don't worry. So even if they will give three statements or four statements, mostly according to my observations from the last TCS NQT papers, maximum students are getting two statements questions. Even if you will get, okay, at the worst case, okay, if you will get more than two statements also, I'll just tell you how to solve those questions as well. Maximum, if they will give three statements question, what will happen? Just only one circle will increase, that's it. Okay, remaining rest of the part we will follow the same procedure. Okay, even if they will give two statements or three statements or more than that also, you can easily solve, okay, by using this particular approach. First listen, I'll tell you step by step like how the things will happen. So be clear, and while drawing Venn diagram, so be more cautious, and after drawing Venn diagram, see, just observe like how we are analyzing, so which approach that we are using. So follow the same thing. You can take any questions from any website from the Google or previous NQT exams. You can easily solve questions from syllogisms. Now let's try to draw Venn diagram for the given statements. As I said, we should draw Venn diagrams for the statements. Okay, so first, before solving, as you all are at the beginners level, so I recommend you to follow one particular procedure, drawing two separate Venn diagrams for each question. Let's assume that one is minimum and next one is maximum. Okay, so what is minimum and what is maximum, I will tell you in the next couple of minutes after that. Okay, let's say all actors are singers. Now drawing a basic Venn diagram for this first statement. What is the first statement? All actors are singers. Can I draw like this? All actors are singers. All actors are singers. Okay. Now, even for minimum case and for maximum case, draw the same diagram for the first statement. Okay. Even in maximum case also the same diagram. All actors are singers. So students might be thinking, sir, is it mandatory to draw two different diagrams like minimum and maximum? No, it is only for you to make it easy to understand easily. So I'm just telling you first analyze to analyze it easily. So I'm just telling you to draw minimum and maximum case. Okay, it is not mandatory rule. Even after completion of 2 to 3 questions, okay, we are not going to solve by using these two Venn diagrams. Just only one diagram is enough. Okay, just to make you understand easily and easiest way to analyze. So I'm just telling you two different ways. Okay, so first thing, for first statement, minimum and maximum both completed. Now second statement, this statement will make the difference between minimum and maximum case. What is second statement? Some singers are dancers. What they're talking about? Singers, dancers, right? Singers and dancers. So some singers are dancers. Now if you observe, whatever they are talking about, okay, they are talking about singers and dancers. So I have drawn here some singers are dancers. Now when it comes to the point of maximum case and minimum case, when they are talking about singers and dancers, we should draw the diagram based on only these two circles. We should not disturb any other circles in the whole picture. If you observe, this some singers or dancer circle is getting satisfied, but this dancer circle is not disturbing actor circle, right? So minimum case, you should not disturb any other circles. Now when it comes to the point of maximum case, what actually maximum case tells us is we can disturb the remaining circles as well. So if you observe, some singers or dancers is getting satisfied, but at the same time, if you observe the difference between these two Venn diagrams, so here the dancer circle is not disturbing actor circle, but here a dancer circle is disturbing actor circle. Okay, so that is what minimum and maximum. Very simple. Minimum means, okay, we should not disturb any other circle. Maximum means we can disturb remaining circles as well, but make sure that, okay, these statements should not violated. Okay, these statements should be satisfied. If you want, you can cross check. Okay, so which diagram is correct? If you ask me the question, which diagrams is correct out of two, I can say that first diagram is correct, second diagram is also correct. Okay, so for this particular statements, so we can draw two diagrams, or you can draw more than two also. Okay, and don't get confused. Some students might be having, sir, I have drawn in some other way, so is that correct or not? Yes, if conditions are satisfying, even your diagram is also correct. Now if you want to check whether your diagram is correct or not, just cross check with the statements. Let me tell. So all actors are singers, right? Is it diagram showing all actors are singers getting satisfied or not? So let's say all actors are inside the singers. So all actors are singers, correct. Now when it comes to this maximum case diagram, even this diagram is also showing that all actors are singers. So first statements satisfied. First statement satisfied. Now let's cross check second statement. So second statement, what it's showing is some singers are dancers. Now here if you observe, some singers are dancers. Now singer circle and dancer circle is getting connected, so getting intersected. So I can say that some singers are dancers is correct. Okay, from this particular diagram. Now even in this particular diagram also it was showing some singers are dancers, but the only difference is this diagram is also showing some singers are dancers, even it is also showing some singers are dancers, but the only difference is this dancer circle is not intersecting with actor circle. Here it is intersecting with actor circle. Very simple. Minimum case, this when you are drawing extra circle, that circle should not disturb remaining circle, but maximum case, that circle can disturb remaining all the circles. Okay, that's the only difference. Now drawing Venn diagram is done. Now we should check, we should analyze it and decide which conclusion is correct. So how to analyze it? One thing guys, very simple. Okay, let's say for one particular question, let's assume you are drawing multiple Venn diagrams. Let's say for this particular question, how many diagrams I have drawn? Two diagrams. Let's imagine you have drawn 100 diagrams. 100 diagrams. In 99 diagrams, okay, that diagrams are saying that one conclusion is correct. Okay, let's assume when you are cross checking that conclusions are correct or not, I'm just taking the first conclusion. This first conclusion, okay, when I consider this first conclusion, let's assume you have drawn 100 diagrams. 100 diagrams. Out of these 100 diagrams, 99 diagrams telling that this conclusion is correct. I'm just telling an example. Okay, out of 100 diagrams, 99 diagrams saying that this conclusion is correct. One diagram saying that this conclusion is wrong. Then what is your final decision? Are you going with majority of the diagrams? No, it's not like that. Okay, so out of 100 diagrams, if 99 diagrams are saying that this conclusion is correct, but one diagram is saying that this conclusion is wrong, so the final decision of the conclusion will be wrong, because here one person is proving that it is wrong. So I hope you all are clear about like how to analyze. So don't consider based on majority part. My point is very simple. Out of 100 possibilities, if 99 possibilities are saying that conclusion is correct, if in case one diagram is saying that the conclusion is wrong, final decision is conclusion will be wrong. That's it. Okay, so means irrespective of the majority, so if one person is saying that this conclusion is wrong, okay, then that conclusion is definitely wrong, even There are so many possibilities which were showing. So this conclusion is correct. Okay, so don't consider about majority part. Consider about if one case is saying negative. Okay, so obviously conclusion is negative, means wrong conclusion. Okay, let's take an example. I'm just taking the first conclusion. Some actors are dancers. Okay, can you say some actors are dancers? Here what they're saying is, okay, some part of actors are dancers. Is this diagram showing this conclusion correct? No, obviously. Here there is no intersection part between actors and dancers, right? So if there is no intersection part between actors and dancers, how can they say that some actors are dancers? But if you observe the second scenario, this scenario is clearly saying that some actors are dancers. Some actors are dancers. There is an intersection part between actors and dancers. But here, let's assume this conclusion, the first conclusion is when we are cross-checking, when we are analyzing the first conclusion, this diagram is saying that conclusion is wrong. And this diagram is saying that this conclusion is right. Okay, now what is our final conclusion? Is it correct or wrong? Okay, just now I said, okay, so if one scenario it was showing that the conclusion is negative, means the conclusion is wrong, obviously the final decision should be this conclusion is wrong. Okay, just very simple. Okay, so first 2 to 3 questions if you try to understand, rest of the question you can easily solve without any confusions. Only simple point, this diagram is showing that this conclusion is wrong. If one particular diagram is showing conclusion is wrong, no need to go with next possibilities of checking, because if one says wrong, it is wrong, that's it. Okay, so that's the reason I'm not going to cross check with the second possibility. Even if you cross check with the second possibility, even this says correct, already first one says it is wrong, so it is obviously wrong. So if one person says wrong, then it is definitely wrong. Now let's consider the second conclusion. Some singers are actors. Some singers are actors means some part of singers. If you observe, where is the singer circle? Here we have a singer circle outline. So this area, this circle area inside, everything related to singers actually. So in this particular area, some singers are actors, means some part of singers who is coming and occupying actors. So this case is obviously saying that this conclusion is correct. Now what about this case? Even in this case also, in the entire circle of singers, so some actors are there inside the singers. Now the both cases it was showing, so this conclusion is correct, because obviously this all actors are there inside the singers, then obviously some part of singers are occupied by actors. Now this diagram is saying this conclusion is correct. Even this diagram is also saying that the second conclusion is correct. You can draw any possible way of diagram. So even in that diagram also it will show that, so second conclusion will be correct. So my final answer is only 2 follows. Okay, so whatever you understand, okay, from this particular question, so make sure that only simple point, simple logic. Okay, so first if you understand this, I will tell you the smart approach to solve. Okay, the same way, but there is a different way of analyzing. Okay, now very simple point. Okay, I hope you all are clear with this. So final answer is only 2 follows. Now let me give you a smart approach to understand the logic. Okay, let's say, as I said, if you have total 100 possibilities of Venn diagram, let's assume that first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth, and so on. There are 100 possibilities of Venn diagrams. Now let's say first you have taken the conclusion, you are cross checking with the first diagram. This diagram is saying that conclusion is correct. Now what you will do basically, you will go for the second diagram, you will cross check with second diagram, right? Now when you are cross checking the second diagram, even second diagram also says that conclusion is correct. Now what you will do, obviously you will go for the third diagram. Now third diagram is also saying that the conclusion is correct. Now fourth diagram is also saying that conclusion is correct. Now when fifth diagram shows the conclusion is wrong, is there any way to calculate, I mean to cross check with the sixth diagram? No, right? So there is no point of cross checking with sixth diagram? Even when you will get to know this diagram shows the conclusion is wrong, obviously the conclusion final decision is wrong. As I said, if one conclusion is wrong, obviously that if one diagram shows it is wrong, obviously the final conclusion will be wrong. So means here, if you observe, if fifth diagram shows it is wrong, means you have wasted time successfully for calculating first for cross checking first diagram, second diagram, third one, fourth one, right? So my point is very simple. Instead of checking whether the conclusion is correct and all, so my point is, why can't you check, why can't you prove the conclusion is wrong? Okay, if you can able to prove that conclusion is wrong, then the conclusion final decision is wrong. If you can not able to prove that the conclusion is wrong, obviously the conclusion is correct. So very simple. My point is, instead of proving all the conclusions correct and all, my point is, better prove conclusion is wrong. Okay, if you can able to prove this conclusion is wrong in one particular case, so obviously this conclusion is wrong. What if you fail to prove it is wrong, then obviously it is correct. Am I clear? So I hope you all are clear. So let's try to solve. Okay, yeah, let's try to solve rest of the questions, so you will get more clear. So only simple approach we call in Venn diagrams negative approach. So very simple, I repeat the statement. Instead of proving the conclusions correct, my point is very simple, prove that conclusion is wrong. If you can able to prove that conclusion is wrong, then it is wrong. If you fail to prove it is wrong, obviously it is correct. So let me take one more question. Let's say first I will draw basic diagram for the statements, and then I will just tell you how to go with the negative approach. Okay, let's consider. Okay, here we have two statements. Let's say some papers are pens. Even if you want, you can try parallelly with me, so we'll solve it together. So I'm just drawing, no two diagrams, single diagram. I'm just proving it is wrong, that's it. So some papers, I'm just drawing some papers are pens. Some papers are pens. Am I clear about the first statement? Now second statement. So this statement is done. Now the second statement, I am drawing the diagram. All pencils are pens, means all pencils should be inside pens, right? So all pencils are pens. Now if you observe, so you should be clear about diagram as well. Now all pencils are inside pens, right? So if I want, I can also draw a diagram like pencils can touch papers also. So I'm just drawing for your reference. Okay, as these are very starting of the starting questions, so for your clarity, I'm just drawing it one more possibility. Okay, even this diagram is also correct. You should make sure that while drawing Venn diagram, so some papers are pens, all pencils are inside pens. These are the two statements given. Now what's the difference between these two diagrams? Here if you observe, I have drawn separately this pencil circle. Now if you observe here, this pencil circle are getting intersected with the papers, means pencil circle is disturbing papers. So whatever it is, like conditions are getting satisfied, these two diagrams are 100% correct. These two diagrams are correct. Now just remember, when you want to say this conclusion is correct, okay, so you should prove it. Okay, you should prove it, this conclusion is definitely correct in all the possibilities. Or else, as I said, instead of proving correct, what's the best approach? I said, instead of proving correct, better prove it is wrong. Let's say what they are saying is some pens are pencils. They are saying that some pens are pencils, means some pens are pencils, means pens and pencils circle both should get intersect each other, right? Pencils and pens. Now when you want to prove this conclusion to be wrong, so what you should do is, this pens and pencils circle should not intersect each other, should not touch each other. So is there any possibility that we can prove pencils and pens circles both should not touch each other? Now just observe, pencils and pens. So here pencils and pens, no. Here if you observe, some pens are pencils, means some part of pens are occupied by pencils. Even here also some part of pens is occupied by pencils. We cannot take these pencils outside of the pens, right? So if you take that, the condition will get violated. So obviously here I am not able to prove this conclusion is wrong. Then obviously the conclusion I should accept it, this conclusion is correct. Because when you want to prove these two circles should not touch each other, so obviously in the condition itself giving those two are one inside the other. So I am not able to prove this conclusion is wrong. So obviously I should accept that the conclusion is correct. Now let's say second conclusion. Can you guess the second conclusion is correct or wrong? Can you post answers in the chat box? Just only post second conclusion is correct or wrong according to the Venn diagram. Yes, exactly. Second conclusion is wrong, because if you observe the second conclusion, some pencils are papers, right? Some pencils are papers. Means pencils and papers circles should touch each other. But if you want to prove it wrong, okay, pencils and papers should not touch. So if you observe pencils and papers here, these two circles are not intersecting. So from this itself, I proved this conclusion is wrong. And you may have doubt. Okay, some students might have doubt. Sir, here pencils and paper circles are getting intersected, right? So from this particular diagram, we can say some pencils are papers. Why you are saying that this conclusion is wrong? Very simple. I said, okay, there are few possibilities where these diagrams will show that this conclusion is correct. We don't want these type of diagrams. We want the diagram that will prove that this conclusion is wrong. Okay. Now in this particular conclusion, papers and pencil circle are not intersecting. So this clearly shows that some pencils or papers is the wrong conclusion. Again, be more clear. If there are n number of possibilities showing that this conclusion is correct, but if we have this particular possibility showing that this conclusion is wrong. So from this, it was clearly shown that only one follows. Okay, I hope you all are clear. Yes, almost majority of the people posted. Yeah, now let's go with the next one. This is the actual question asked in TCS NQT exam. Now can you try and post your answer? I will give you 1 minute time. Make it fast. All the pencils are pens. You can draw the diagram. Okay, I can say here all pencils. Let me draw a bigger circle. All pencils are pens. So all pencils are pens. All the pens are inks. Again, all the pens are inks. Is that the diagram you have drawn? So the same. If you observe, okay, all pencils are pens. All pens are inks. Okay, so it will be like one after other. So all three circles. Okay. Now if you observe, now if you want to prove that the conclusion is wrong, so let's say all pencils are inks. So all pencils are inks. All pencils are there inside inks. Obviously, if you observe, pencils are there inside pens. Now all pens are there in inside inks. If all pens are there in inside inks, obviously pencils should also be inside the inks, right? So is there any possibility that we can prove this conclusion wrong? No. Obviously this conclusion, whatever they are saying, it is correct, because okay, all pencils are inside pens and all pens are inside inks. So obviously all pencils are inside the inks. So this conclusion is wrong. There is no possibility that we can take the pencils outside of the ink. So we have to accept that the given conclusion is correct. Now some inks are pencils. Okay, so some inks are pencils means this is the circle represents the area. This entire area is ink area. So some part of ink is occupied by whom? pencil. Some part of ink is occupied by pencil. So I can say that this conclusion is also correct, because whatever they have given conclusions, okay, which was clearly saying that, okay, we cannot able to prove that conclusions are wrong, so we have to accept it. Those two conclusions given in the statements in the question are correct. So answer is both follows. So both follows. Yes. Here I can see answers in the chat box. Yes, majority posted it as option C. Yes, exactly. So see, guys, as I said, you will get definite question in TCS NQT from syllogisms topic. So if you will get question, it is very easy to solve. Okay. So let's say the next one. Okay. Same case here. Can you try it? Try it and post answer. Okay. Some dogs are bats. Some bats are cats. Okay. Let's draw a circle. Some dogs are bats. Some dogs are bats. Now the next statement is some bats are cats. Some bats are cats. Now I'm drawing like this. Some bats are cats. You just observe. Okay, I can also draw the cat circle. Okay, whatever the circle here, this can touch dog circle, right? Okay, so there is two possibilities of drawing this cat circle without touching dog circle or with touching this dog circle. Okay, these two are possibilities. You just keep it in your mind. Now prove these two conclusions are wrong. Very simple. What's the condition here? Some dogs are cats. Okay, some dogs are cats. They are saying that dog circle and cat circle will touch each other. Now if you want to prove this conclusion is wrong, so what we should do? Dog circle and cat circle will not touch each other. Now is there possibility that dog and cat should not touch? Obviously dog circle is here, cat circle is here. If I draw like this, okay, so obviously this circle is not connected with dog circle. No, I proved this conclusion is wrong. Okay, some dogs or cats, what they are saying is dogs and cat circle will touch each other, but what I am proving is these two will not touch each other. So obviously I proved it, it is wrong. So next, conclusion 2, what they are saying is some cats or dogs. So same, if you observe, these two are vice versa. Okay, obviously when we proved that cat and dog circle should not touch each other, even cat and dog circle should not touch each other. So again we proved this also wrong. So what will be our answer? So option D, neither one nor two follows. So all are wrong. Yes, exactly. Option D. Yes, very good. Okay, so that's it. These are the basic things that if you try solving as many questions as possible, try to practice minimum 10 to 15 questions from syllogisms topic, you will get more clarity on that. Okay, so always do remember the shortcut here is very simple approach. Okay, always try to prove the conclusion is wrong. Okay, let's try to solve the next question so that you will get more clarity about the concept. Yeah, here they have given the possibility. Okay, let me explain you what if they will give the word called possibility. Possibility means if you have a possibility of drawing that, you should consider that conclusion is to be correct. Let's say an example. Some houses are flats. Okay, I'll draw some houses are flats. Some houses are flats. No flat is villa. Here they have clearly given the statement no flat is villa. So flat and villa circle should not touch each other. Let's say flat is here. I can draw villa circle is here, but make sure that, so in order to avoid the confusion, draw a line like this. What this line indicates, flat and villa circles should not touch each other. Okay, these two circles should not touch each other. Okay, so this villa circle should not touch flat. Okay, but we can draw this villa circle that can touch houses, right? Can I draw like this villa circle? But villa circle should not touch flat. That's the condition given. but this villa circle can touch houses, right? Okay, so that is a possibility. Now let's say, what is the first conclusion saying that all villas being house is possibility. When they mention the word possibility, you just need to cross check at least in one particular case, is it possible to draw? Okay, if it is possible, then that conclusion is correct. Let's say an example, what they're saying, all villas being house is a possibility. Now I can take all villas. This villa circle is being, okay, this villa circle I can kept like this, right? Okay, let me draw for your reference. What if I'll draw villa like this? This villa and a flat circle should not touch each other, right? See, if you observe, some houses are flats, condition clear, first statement. No flat is villa. Flat is not touching villa. So, condition satisfied. So, is it possible to draw? Yes, of course. All villas being houses is a possibility without touching flat. Okay, so it is a possibility. In case, if I would have given the question, all villas being flat is a possibility. If I would have given the question, then that is not correct, because all villas being flat is not at all possible, because no flat is villa. Flat should not touch villa. How can it will be all villas can be inside the flat? So if that would have been the case, so that is not possible. But here all villas can go inside the house. It is a possibility. Now they're saying that at least some villa is a flat. Okay, they're saying that at least some villa is a flat. This is not, they're not giving the possibility, they're just directly given that they're asking at least some villa is a flat. So you just observe, at least some possibilities, at least or some, both are same. So some villa is a flat means obviously this villa, okay, so cannot be flat, because these two should not touch each other. So there is no possibility that at least some villa is flat. Okay, because these two should not touch each other. So what will be the final answer? Option A, only one follows. Yeah, exactly. I can see answers option A, only one follows in the chat box. Very good. Okay, I hope you have a bit clear about the concept of syllogisms. So let's try solving the next question. You will get more clarity about the questions. Okay, let's say all buildings are chalks. All buildings, all buildings are chalks. Okay, no chalk is toffee. No chalk is toffee. Let's assume that here we have a toffee. So no chalk is toffee means this toffee and chalk circle should not touch each other. Okay, this toffee and chalk circle should not touch each other. This is the diagram. Now if you wanted to prove this these conclusions, okay, wrong, so let's consider no building is toffee. They're saying that building and toffee will not touch each other. They itself saying that in the conclusion, building and toffee should not touch each other. If you want to prove it wrong, okay, you should prove it building and toffee will touch each other. So let's say building and toffee. See, when chalks does not touch toffee, how can this toffee circle will touch the building which is inside the chalks? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. So I can say that whatever the condition they gave, no building is toffee, is exactly correct, right? Because whatever they're saying, no building is toffee, building cannot touch toffee, because when this building wants to touch this toffee, or this toffee wants to touch the building, okay, this toffee circle should cross this chalks line and touch building, right? It is not at all possible. When it is going to touch, the condition will get violated. So whatever the conclusion they are saying, in the first one is exactly correct. No building is toffee. Next, some toffees are buildings. Some toffees are building. Obviously, when this is correct, how come this will be correct? So some toffees are buildings. Is it correct? Some toffees are buildings means if this toffee wants to touch this building circle, obviously it should cross this line, right? So obviously this is not at all possible. Answer is only one follows. Okay, I hope you all are clear. Yeah, exactly, option A. Very good. Okay, let's go with the next one. Okay, there are some rare cases where you may get questions with 3 statements as well. Even if you will get this questions with 3 statements, it is easy to solve. Okay. Okay. Same procedure, one more circle will get increased. That's it. Okay. Let's say all tabs, all tabs are, all tabs are mats. All cats are rats. They're talking about some two different new words. Let's consider this. All mats are rats. So all mats are rats. Next, all cats are rats. See, if you observe, all cats are rats means, so I can draw like this. Okay, all cats will be inside rat circle. So this cat circle, if I want, I can draw this cat circle touching mats, this cat circle touching taps as well. Okay, now so here all taps are mats. Last one, all mats are cats. All mats are inside rats, and all cats are also inside rats. Okay, obviously I'm just drawing this circle, small circle. If you want, you can draw big circle as well by touching remaining circles. Okay, now can you guess which answer will be correct? Here there are 4 different options. Okay, because we have total 4 conclusions to be cross checked. So cross check it and post which answer will be correct according to your understanding and analysis. Okay, can you guess which conclusion will be correct? Just try to prove the conclusion, which conclusion will be wrong. Yes, I can see answers. Option B, there are 4 students who posted option B is correct. Option B means conclusion 2 and 4 follows. Let me cross check it. All cats are mats. All cats are mats. Now all cats are mats means they are saying that all cats are inside mats. See, here itself I proved that they're saying that all cats are mats. I proved that cats and mat circle are not even touching each other. So how can this will be possible? I proved it wrong. Okay, so if they mention all cats are mats is a possibility, so we have a possibility of being all cats inside the mats, but they didn't mention anything about possibility. If it is a possibility, there is a possibility. Okay, but here they have given a direct statement, so I proved it wrong. Okay, next statement 2, some rats are taps. Okay, some rats are taps means some part of rats is occupied by taps. Yes, obviously it is correct. Okay, next, no cat is tap. No cat is tap. No cat is tap. Here if you observe, no cat is tap, they are saying means cat and tap circle should not touch each other. But if you want to prove this wrong, I can draw cat circle like this. It can touch, right? It is a possibility. So obviously I proved this conclusion is wrong. Always do remember, try to prove it, the conclusion is wrong. Second one is correct. Now the last one, all taps are rats. All taps are inside the rats. Obviously this is also correct, as you all said. So conclusion 2 and 4 follows option B. You have to select in the exam if you will get these type of questions. Yes, exactly, the people who posted it as option B, okay, it is correct. Okay, see, very simple. Conclusion 3 is wrong. Okay, so somebody posted conclusion 3 also. So very simple, listen. So why conclusion 3 is wrong is very simple. No cat is tap. What they are saying in the conclusion, tap and cat circle should not touch each other. But if you wanted to prove that wrong, cat circle can touch the tap circle, right? It is possible. So it can touch the tap circle, so it is possible. That's the reason I proved that conclusion 3 is wrong. Only 2 and 4 are correct. Option B is correct. Okay, so I hope you all are clear. Let's solve the next one. Okay, next one. Some cups are pots. Some cups are pots. All pots are tubes. All pots are tubes. Next, from the given conclusion, you see, some cups are pots. All pots are tubes means obviously this tube circle should touch cups because these are intersected part. So intersection we have. So next, some parts are cups. Some parts, some parts are cups. Obviously here itself they have given right in the statement. So contradictory statement. So obviously this is conclusion is correct from the given statements itself. Okay. Now some tubes are cups. Some tubes are cups. Obviously if you want to prove that wrong, so cups and tube circle should not touch each other. But here, is it possible to draw tube circle without touching cups? No, because already some cups or pots they have clearly mentioned. If you want to draw all pots to be inside the tubes, this tube circle should touch cup circle. There is no possibility to prove it wrong. So obviously this is also correct answer is both follows. Okay, so correct answer is both follows. I hope you all are clear. Okay, next. Okay, so can you post answer for this question? I'll give you 1 minute time. Okay, let me check solutions here. Yes, everybody posted it as option D. Yes, exactly. For this particular question, we the correct answer is neither one nor two follows. Yes, very good. Okay. Yes, the last question. Okay, we'll solve, and then we'll go with questions which were asked in directions concept. And the concept of directions is very easy. Okay, let's try to solve this question here. In the conclusions they have given that both possibilities, all energies are forces. Let's say all all energies are all energies are forces. No force is torque. Okay, no force is torque means this force and torque circle should not touch each other. Next, all torques are powers. So all torques are powers means all torques should be powers. All torques should be powers. And remember here, force and torque circle should not touch each other, but this power circle can touch forces, energies remaining all the circles. It is a possible. Okay, now just remember, all energies being power is a possibility. So all energies being power is a possibility. See, if you observe, all torques should be in powers, right? I can also draw power cycle if you want, like this. This is also a possibility. So all energies being powers is possibility without disturbing any circles. So next, if you observe, all powers being force is a possibility or not. All powers being force, all powers being force is a possibility or not. See, what they are saying is, actually this conclusion is correct. In the second conclusion, all powers being force is a possibility means taking this power circle, this entire circle, keeping it in force, is it possible or not? So if I keep this entire power circle in force, obviously the circle, the torque which is inside power will also go to inside the force, right? Is it possible to take entire power circle into the force circle? No, because when I take this entire power circle into the force, obviously the circle which is inside power this will also should go, right? So but here they clearly given the condition, no force is torque circle should not touch force circle. So it is not possible to draw the entire complete power circle should be inside the force circle. I hope you all are clear. So correct answer is only one follows. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is all about like syllogisms. I hope you have a small idea about it, and if you practice many questions from the concept of syllogisms, at least try to practice after the class. Okay, so minimum 10 to 20 questions from the concept of syllogisms, so that you will get more clarity about the concept. Okay, so let's go with next important concept. Okay, we have in the syllabus of TCS NQT is directions. The same case, as I said, we can expect minimum one question from the concept of directions. So let's say we have if you want to solve the questions from directions, first the basic idea we should have is how many directions we have, what kind of questions they will ask you in the exam. Okay, let's say the basic thing. So we have total 4 directions: north, south, east and west. Other than these 4, we have 4 more directions. Okay, these are the main directions: north, south, east and west. There are 4 more directions we have. The direction which is in between north to east, we call it as it is northeast. Okay, and the direction which is in between south and east, we call it as southeast. Okay, the direction which is in between south and west, in between, we call it as southwest. And the direction which is in between north and west, we call it as northwest. Very simple. If you know these 4 directions, north, south, east and west, remaining 4 directions in between north and east, we call it as northeast. In between south and west, we call it as southwest. We can easily frame those directions. Okay, these are the 8 important directions we have in the concept of directions. What kind of questions can be given in the exam? There are mainly 3 types of questions can be given in the concept of directions. First one, a person is traveling towards north and taken left direction, and after that he has taken right direction, after again left direction. They will guide you how to go based on the directions of left and right. So after that they will ask you the questions, how far and in which direction is he from the reference point or from the starting point. Means they may ask you questions based on finding distance and direction. Distance and direction. What about second type of question? So let's say a person is facing east, he turned 90 degrees clockwise direction, again 135 degrees anti-clockwise direction, and here the distance doesn't matter, the angle of rotation matters. So based on angle of rotation, angle of rotation. So for this you should know clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. So clockwise means forward direction, anti-clockwise means reverse direction. That's it. Okay, so we'll try to solve. We have a question which was asked in the last TCS exam. Now what about third one? Problems based on shadows. Okay, problems based on shadows. These 3 questions which are very important and most frequently asked questions in the exam of TCS NQT. So we'll discuss what are the questions asked, okay, in the last exams of TCS NQT. Okay, I hope you all are clear about these particular points. These 8 directions that you should remember: north, south, east, west. The direction which is in between north and east will indicate northeast, south and east southeast, south and west southwest, and north and west northwest. Okay, so let's try solving questions from directions concept. Okay, let's say an example. Okay, a girl leaves from her home. She first walks 30 meters in northwest direction and then 30 meters in southwest direction. Next, she walks 30 meters in southeast direction. Finally, she turns towards her house. In which direction is she moving? Okay, so this is the question asked in last, okay, NQT exam, TCS NQT exam. Okay, so here this is the question asked in TCS NQT exam. So very simple. Here a girl leaves from home. Let's assume that let's say, okay, here is her home. Okay, she walks 30 kilometers in northwest direction. I hope you all are clear with this. Okay, directions north, south, east, west. If you remember in your mind, so no need to draw again all the times like diagram for this. So here this is northwest, this is northeast, this indicates southeast, this indicates southwest. Now from her home, let's take a point. This is the point where her home. So from this point, she's traveling towards northwest 30 meters. Now, can I say that northwest indicates this is the direction northwest? So how many meters? 30 meters. After that, after that, uh, then 30 meters in southwest direction. Southwest direction means, can I say that this is the direction downwards, southwest direction? From this particular point, she travels southwest. Okay, how many meters? 30 meters, southwest direction. Next, okay, after traveling southwest direction, next she walks 30 meters in southeast direction. 30 meters in southeast. What's the direction indicates southeast like this? So can I say that southeast direction like this? Again 30 meters. Now what's the question here? Then finally she turns towards her house. She turns towards her house. Where is her house? Here. She turned towards her house means this is the direction she is moving. So she turned in this particular direction. Now the question is, in which direction is she moving? So this arrow type of direction indicates which direction. If you observe, this is the direction, right? This is the direction. This indicates northeast direction. So this indicates northeast direction. I hope you all are clear. This is one of the basic question I can say. So you just need to understand, okay, what are the directions north, south, east and west? Which direction will be considered as northeast, northwest, southeast and southwest, and how many meters? Here they are not talking about the distance she moved, but sometimes in the question even these 30 values, whatever the values they are is she moving, is also most important. Sometimes they may ask you, okay, how far and in which direction is she moving? So these type of questions can be asked in the exam. I hope you all are clear about this. Yeah, exactly, northeast. Okay, so next one, we'll go with the next question. Okay, a boy rode his bicycle northwards, then turned left and rode 1 kilometer, and again turned left and rode 2 kilometers. He found himself 1 kilometer west of his starting point. How far did he rode northward initially? Is the question. So this is also a basic question. Mostly there are high chances that you may get good score in the concept of directions, because very less confusion. No, actually if you are perfect with the directions, there is no point of confusion. Here if you observe, a boy rode his bicycle northwards. Let's assume that here is the starting point. He rode his cycle northwards. How many meters or how many kilometers? They didn't mention anything. So towards northward. So then turned left. So if he's going towards north, left direction means towards west, right? So he turned towards west and rode how many kilometers towards after turning left? He traveled 1 kilometer. I'm just writing this 1 kilometer. Initially, how much distance northwards he traveled? We are not sure. Next, and again he turned left. So when he is moving towards west, when he had taken left direction, he is going towards south. Can I say that towards south? Again taking left direction when he is going towards west. So on road, how many kilometers? 2 kilometers. Okay, he found himself. Now actually here is the boy. Finally he found himself 1 kilometer west of the starting point. This is the starting point. He found 1 kilometer to the west, right? So this line is exactly parallel to this line, means west side. So obviously when this is parallel to this, obviously this line is also parallel to this direction. So means initially he traveled towards north how many kilometers? 2 that's what the question they are asking. So what's the question they are asking? How far did he ride initially? Okay, in northward direction. So initially he traveled 2 kilometers northwards. So answer is option B. So it's all about like how fast you are understanding conditions. I hope you all are clear with the question. So let's go with the next one. Next question asked in the exam. Okay. So this question, as I said, based on shadows. Okay. So one thing you just need to understand the concept of shadows. So one condition, okay, in the morning and the second condition in the evening. So when it comes to the point of morning, we all know that sun rises in the east and sunset at west, right? So let's consider north, south, east, west. Okay, very simple logic. If I have a pen, if I put a torchlight on the pen, obviously the shadow of the pen will fall to the next side, right? So which is opposite to that. Okay, and the similar case here, if you observe in the early morning, so in the morning obviously sun will be in the east, sun rises in the east. Okay, obviously sun rays will fall like this. Okay, sun rays will fall like this. The persons who is standing here, those shadow will be in the exactly will be felt on the opposite side of the person who are standing. Let's say in the early morning, Akash was standing in front of a puppet in the field. The shadow of the puppet was falling to the right of Akash. Okay, the shadow of the puppet was falling to the right of Akash. Let's assume that Akash is facing towards north. Okay, let's assume that Akash is facing towards north. Let's assume that here we have a puppet. Okay, now obviously when the rays are falling on the puppet and as well as Akash, these shadows will fall to the another side, means the shadows will fall on the west side, right? Now let's assume that the shadow of the puppet will fall like this, another side. Now if Akash is facing towards north, the shadow will be on the Akash left hand side, right? So Akash left side, the shadow is falling. The shadow of the puppet is falling on Akash left side. Now what actually the condition? The shadow of the puppet was falling to the right side of Akash. Now when Akash is facing towards north, puppet is falling the left side of Akash. Now what if I change the directions of puppet and Akash? Now let's say Akash is facing towards south side direction. Now Akash is facing towards the south side direction. Let's say we have a puppet here. Okay, the shadow of the puppet will be fell on which side of Akash? Now just imagine Akash is facing towards south. The right side of Akash is west side, right? The right side of Akash is west side. Now if right side of Akash is this particular side, so I can easily say that the shadow of puppet is falling on right side of Akash. Now what's the question actually? In which direction Akash is facing? So the condition is clearly saying that Akash is facing towards south. Okay, if Akash is facing towards north, what happening? The shadow of the puppet is facing left side of Akash. So this the only condition you should understand. If it is in the morning, rays will fall from this particular side. Sometimes they may give you a condition, okay, in the evening. Okay, in the evening means obviously the sun will be on the west side, so the rays will fall like this and the shadows will fall on east side. Okay, that's the only thing that you should have more clarity when you are solving, okay, questions on shadows. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with this. Now the next one, yeah. Yes, I think exactly the same question asked in 2023 TCS NQT, I guess. Okay, asked is the same question. Okay, so if you observe, almost they covered all the areas in Hyderabad. Okay, in the entire concept of I mean directions, they covered entire Hyderabad areas. Okay, so let's say Charminar is 15 kilometers to the west of Yadagiri Gutta. Birla Mandir is 10 kilometers to the south of Yadagiri Gutta. Golconda, Cyber Towers and Yadagiri Gutta form a straight line of 20 kilometers from north to south. Cyber Towers is exactly in the middle of the line. Cyber Towers is 20 kilometers to the west of Gokul Chat. Gokul Chat is 20 kilometers to the north of Chilkur. Shilparamam is 20 kilometers to the north of Lumbini Park. And Lumbini Park is 15 kilometers to the west of Hussain Sagar. Gokul Chat is 10 kilometers to the north of Lumbini Park. At what distance and in which direction is Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers? Okay. Question seems to be very interesting, and don't think that there are so many conditions we should take. Just observe what was the question they are asking. Okay, what are the reference points they are talking about? Okay, they're talking about what distance and in which direction. What's the point here? Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers. Okay, Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers. Just concentrate on those particular areas. Let's talk about first statement. Okay, can I say that Charminar is 15 kilometers to the west of Yadagiri Gutta? Okay, I'm just drawing it here. Okay, let's say Charminar is 15 kilometers west of Yadagiri Gutta. Let's say here we are considering Yadagiri Gutta. Now Charminar is west side. Okay, how many kilometers? 15 kilometers to the west of Yadagiri Gutta. Now I can say that Charminar is here. Okay, Charminar is 15 kilometers to the west of Yadagiri Gutta. Next, Birla Mandir is 10 kilometers to the south of Yadagiri Gutta. Now, Birla Mandir is south side of Yadagiri Gutta. So, south side. This is the south side, right? So, how many kilometers? So, 10 kilometers to the south of Yadagiri Gutta. So, Birla Mandir. Next, Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta form a straight line. Straight line means, okay, either it can be a horizontal line or vertical line. They didn't mention anything, but if you observe, Golconda, Cyber Towers and Yadagiri Gutta form a straight line of 20 kilometers from north to south. They are talking about Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta. From north to south means Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta. Okay, so Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta means I can say that, okay, Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta. This forms a straight line. Means from north to south they mention. From north to south, Golconda, Cyber Towers, Yadagiri Gutta forms a straight line. Okay, and also, okay, straight line of 20 kilometers from north to south. From here to here, total 20 kilometers. Total distance from Golconda to Yadagiri Gutta is 20 kilometers. Now, Cyber Tower is exactly in the middle of the line. So, in the entire line, Cyber Towers is exactly in the middle of the line. Means total 20 means I can say that Golconda to Cyber Towers 10 kilometers, Cyber Towers to Yadagiri Gutta 10 kilometers. Okay. Now, I hope, okay, the question they are asking about how far and remaining points are just to make students confused. They have given a lot of conditions. To be frank here, if you observe the question, they are talking about the reference point of Birla Mandir and Cyber Towers. There is no point of taking the areas like Gokul Chat, Lumbini Park, okay, and there are few more Hussain Sagar and all. There is no point of considering all those areas. It is only for time waste. Okay, if you practically observe, they're talking about Birla Mandir and Cyber Towers. Already we got to know that Birla Mandir is here, Cyber Tower is here. What they're asking, what distance and in which direction is Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers? So Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers, here to here 10 kilometers, here to here 10 kilometers. Total from Cyber Towers to Birla Mandir, it is 20 kilometers. Okay, and in which direction Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers? Exactly to the straight line towards downside, means south. So I can say that answer is, so the Birla Mandir with respect to Cyber Towers is 20 kilometers south. Option C is correct. Okay, so sometimes if you have a big question, there are so many conditions given in the question. Okay, first directly go with the question. Okay, which areas they are talking about. So sometimes they may give, okay, just to check whether the students can able to identify what is the actual question or not, whether they are consuming more time in the exam or not. So this is just to check. There are so many conditions where there is no point of considering those conditions. I hope you all are clear with this particular question. Okay, this is actually the same question given in the exam. Okay, so I hope you all are done. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go with the next one. I hope you can try this question now. Okay, as the same question which I gave, okay, based on shadows, but in the morning I have explained. Now you have to consider the condition here in the evening. Evening means obviously the sun rays should fall from the west and the shadow will fall in the east side. Can you try it and post your answers? North, south, east, west. Okay, one evening before sunset, Rekha and Hema were talking to each other face to face. Okay, if Hema's shadow was exactly to the right of Hema, so Hema's shadow was exactly to the right of Hema itself. So obviously in the evening means sun rays will fall from west side. Okay, so they're talking about Hema. Hema's shadow was exactly to the right of Hema. So let's say when Hema's shadow will fall here, okay, this when Hema is facing towards north, when Hema is facing towards north, so Hema's shadow will be exactly to the right of Hema itself. Now what's the question actually? Which direction Rekha was facing? So obviously when Hema is facing towards north, Rekha will be facing towards west. Okay, so here if you observe, Rekha and Hema were talking to each other face to face. When Hema is facing towards north, Rekha is facing towards south. Okay, so downward direction. So I can say that answer is south. Shadow problems are very easy to understand. Only thing you should yeah, have an idea about like which direction the rays are falling from and which direction, yeah, the shadow is getting faced. Yeah, exactly. I hope you all are clear. Yes. Okay, let's go with the next one. Okay, even we'll solve a question based on the degrees as well, so that you will get more clarity how to turn clockwise and anti-clockwise. So P started from his house towards west. Okay, after walking a distance of 25 meters, he turned to the right and walked 10 meters. He then again turned to the right and walked 15 meters. Here so many turnings they have given, so many conditions here. P started from his house towards west. So can I consider here this is the house towards west? How many kilometers P started from his house towards west? After walking a distance of 25 meters, means after walking a distance of 25 meters, he turned to the right. He turned to the right means walking towards west, turning right means going towards north. Let me draw a straight line. So going towards north and walked 10 meters. Sorry, 10 meters. He then again turned to his right and walked 15 meters. So again walked 15 meters. Okay. So let me take 25 meters line little lengthy so that I can draw up to here at least. This line is 25 meters, 10 meters right, again taking right. Okay. Again 15 meters. After this, he turned to his right 15 meters. After this, he is to turn right at 135 degrees clockwise direction. So actually he's which direction he is facing? So he's facing towards east, correct? He's facing towards east basically. Now what happened is he turned 135 degrees. Let's say if this would have been the direction of his facing, I'm just drawing separately. When he turned clockwise, okay, clockwise means likewise, right? Clockwise. So when he turned clockwise, okay, 90 degrees from east, okay, he will come to south, right? From east he will come to south. But actually how many degrees they mention? Total 135 degrees. So 135 degrees means obviously 45 degrees more he has to rotate from south in a clockwise direction. So obviously this direction indicates south west, right? So from east direction, when he turned 135 degrees in a clockwise direction, he will come to the point of southwest direction. Now, obviously, the question here is almost he covered 30 meters from here again. In which direction should he go? So, obviously, which direction he is going? Southwest. So, obviously, option C, you can observe here, southwest direction he is moving. So, answer is option C, southwest. Okay. So, yes, I hope you all are clear. So, mainly from the concept of directions, we will be having three important questions. One is based on distance and direction. Second one is based on angle of rotation. And the third one based on problems on shadows. Whenever you will get a question from the concept of directions, maximum we can expect one question from these three models. So, be clear about these three models, and whatever the questions we discuss now, either from the concept of syllogisms or directions. So, this is not enough for the practice. So, this is taken as a reference to practice more questions. Okay. So, minimum, as I said, try to practice 10 to 15 questions from the concept of syllogisms and also from the concept of directions. Okay. So that you will get more clarity about the concepts. So if you have more doubts, okay, that doubts you can easily clarify in the classes. Okay. So I hope you all are clear with the concepts of syllogisms and directions. And one more small update other than the classes. So you will be having a test today. Okay. So we will be conducting a complete mock test of TCS NQT, the same replica of what actual TCS test is. So you'll be having, in the first class we discussed about, in TCS exam we will be having a foundation round. Okay. So total 20 questions from numerical ability. You'll be given a time of 25 minutes. Even the same reasoning ability, 20 questions, you'll be having 25 minutes time. And also verbal ability, 25 questions, 25 minutes time. Total number of questions in the exam will be 55 questions, and the total time is 75 minutes. Actually, how much time and how many questions you are getting in TCS NQT exam, the same mock test, if you write it, you will understand in which level that you are in, so that you can practice more. And this mock test will cover almost all the topics which are going to cover in TCS NQT. Okay. And this exam that you are going to write in CV Corp app. So if you are an Android user, download CV Corp app from the Play Store. If you are using iOS users, you can download Class Plus app. Okay. So if you have any doubts, we will update regarding this test in the WhatsApp group. So this test will be having 75 minutes, and this test will be inactive after 9 o'clock today night. So till tomorrow 5 o'clock. Okay. You can take this test at any time possible, so that you will get to know how many questions that you can score. This is just like, even after completion of the exam, we will enable the solutions. You can cross check the solutions where you did mistake. Okay. Once after completion of the exam, tomorrow evening 5 o'clock, we will enable the solutions. You can cross check that solutions where you did mistake, and you can practice the questions again. Okay. I hope you all are clear with the test. If you have any doubts regarding the test, we will give an update regarding this. Okay. After downloading that app, you should log in. Okay. We will send you the batch code, which code that you need to type in the batch, and we will, yeah, let me write it. After I'll just tell you the procedure. First, download CV Corp app from the Play Store if you are an Android users. Okay. If you are an iOS users, download Class Plus app. Okay. Yeah, from the Play Stores. Okay. So after downloading it, okay, you should enter your details. Okay. So after that, like it will ask you after logging into the page successfully. Okay. If you go to the option called batches in the app, so it will ask you no batches found, because you are not there in the batches. On the bottom right side of your screen, you can observe a plus symbol. Okay. If you click on this plus symbol, it will ask enter batch code. So batch code is TCS NQT, all small letters. Okay. If you enter this batch code, you will get an option called success. Means if you enter the valid batch code, you will get that notification called success, so that we will accept all the students. Once accepting all the students, okay, we will conduct an exam. So we will assign an exam, so that you can start. So maximum try to do this process before 9 o'clock today. Okay. Download the app and go to the batches, enter the batch code TCS NQT, all small letters. You will get an option success, so that we will accept all the students data. Okay, we will start exam by today 9 o'clock. We will assign exam by today 9 o'clock, and this exam will be in active mode till tomorrow 5 o'clock. Okay, so that you will get to know what type of questions will be asked, and also from which topics that you are perfect in, you will easily assess yourself. Okay, that's it guys. Thank you all. So stay online. Your programming class will starts in 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, thank you.